Hi everyone, I am SS the Showstopper, and today is the 13th of September 2023. Now, today it's a little bit different. It's not as grave or as serious as how I usually do my videos and speaking on hot topics, current affairs, things that are taking place around the world that people, want to know about, and things that are taking place in my own home country. And it's just a little bit different from the usual. Now it's for a little bit of people like myself who has a little bit of a sad and mundane life. I'm trying to bring a little bit of humor to you. And so today we are taking God to task. Yes, I said it. We are taking the Most High, God Almighty, the universe, Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah, what they call it in Hindu, Krishna, I think, whatever they call it, in that country, Hinduism. We are taking God to task. There are a few things that we would like God to correct, and we are going to put God on the books. And today it's called the top 10 mistakes that God made. Yes, Almighty God, who they say made no mistakes or make no mistakes. Yes. The world ain't as perfect as how it looks. It is not as peachy as how it looks. Our beloved God, our great God. Yes, we are taking you to task. And there are some mistakes that you make that we would like you to correct in the future so we can all have a happy life and be a very great bunch of people living on earth, serving you and doing the good. Okay, God? So these are the mistakes that we, as human beings on the face of the earth, would like you to dabble in a little bit, a little portion of this, a little portion of that, a little apothecary to the workings, and just make us a little bit more nicer and a little make the earth a little bit more happy for us to dwell in and for us to be happy people and just go about our daily life. I serve you until I get to number 10. All right. So the top 10 mistakes that God made. Coming in at number one, the number one mistake that God made is making man. Yes, the number one mistake that God made is making man. The very good book, the Bible spoke about it. God regret making man. And for those who want to come and say, oh, he meant mankind, listen to me. People were very intelligent back then. The scribes were absolutely intelligent. I'm sure if they wanted to speak specifically that he was speaking on man and woman, the good book would have said it. It said, God regret making man. So you, Mr. Sir, you, Mr. Gentleman, God regret making you. And, it's a great mistake. We have seen the atrocities on mankind and, single-handedly destructive behavior, practices, normalcies that has been taking place on this very earth that has caused the life of hundreds of millions, if not billions of people throughout history. And because of such, the mistake that God made, number one, is making man. And for those who want to still continue on the topic of he meant both persons, listen. The very Bible again said he took the rib from Adam to make Eve. So at no point in time did God make man, whether literally or figuratively. He didn't make woman, I should say, whether literally or figuratively. He took the rib from Adam to make Eve. So God made man and God regret making man. So the number one mistake that God made is making man. Moving along to number two. I think the number two mistake that God made was putting penis on the wrong gender. For some strange reason, I just think that penis has, over the years, over centuries, eons, have created a lot of problem for many persons. For both the gender, it has created problems for men. It has created problem for women. It has created problem for little girls and boys. Very, very disturbing. I think penis was placed on the wrong gender. I think it should have been placed on a gender that's more responsible, a little bit more responsible with the private part, the genitalia, a little bit more careful, cautious, protecting it, restraining it, controlling it. I think that should have been the way to go. And God apparently put penis on the wrong gender. For some strange reason, God, we are taking you to task, and these are the corrections that you have to make. Listen to me. Do not come at me. These are the top 10. My research, persons have agreed with me, and I'm going along with it. Okay? Which leads to number three. The mistake that God made is not creating another species. Yes, God should have made another species because men and women do not like each other. That's why the Bible promotes husband and wife and promotes marriage, because men and women naturally are the only two species that simply just cannot get along. We see each other as competition. We see each other as problematic people. We see each other as sworn enemies, as arch nemesis. Besides the fact that we can procreate, we can have sex, we can intercourse, we can have orgy, we can have pleasure. Besides that, which lasts for a few minutes out of the day, there are 20, which is 24 hours make a day. The rest 23 hours and some minutes are spent fighting, arguing, quarreling about a lot of things that are mainly unnecessary, but just to get by to the next bench for the next day. So it's natural and inevitable that man and woman simply do not like each other. So I personally suggest or think that God should have invented another species so that we could go to, we could divert to, we could plan to, we could rebuild with, we could, formulate with, we could create with, we could invent with. And, it would have made a much more beautiful place for both man and woman to exist, because as I said, we naturally dislike each other. And so, with that being said, not everyone is going to be married. Not everyone is interested in marrying. But, free will has created a whole lot of persons just exercising free will for the heck of it rather than through principles. And because of such, there should have been another species that we can go to. Number 4, coming in, not making humans with wing. Now, so many of us have dreamt, I think every human being on the face of the earth at this point have dreamt at least once about flying. We always have that desire. I know that there are inventions of airplanes, parachutes, yada, 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 man's ingenuity. Yes, we commend man for having the ability to figuratively fly through mechanical engineering. However, human beings want to have natural ability to soar like an eagle, to fly, to go from one location to the other in the quickest amount of time without being hurt. Same like a bird that fly. We as human beings would love the ability to fly. So I think that's number 4, one of the mistakes that God made. And coming in at numero 5, number 5, time travel. Yes. Now, I know, given I've spoken about it several times, that human beings exist in the realm or in the entity of time, which means that we grow, we age, we get sick, we multiply, we die. You understand me? So human beings want the ability to go back in the past, to travel, so that whatever error they made in the past that is resulting in the future based on bad decision or decisions that they're ignorant of, they can go back into the past and change it and fix it for the future. Unfortunately, we exist in the now, and so we have to live with whatever decisions that were made back then and just accept it for reality and try to plan better with ignorance and going by faith. So in hindsight, Mr. God, I think you made a mistake. We want the ability to time travel. I've seen it in movies where people are time traveling. I've seen where scientists spoken about several people who have time travel, and it's not yet confirmed. Nothing yet has been confirmed. So we want to know if such is the case, all human being has the ability to time travel. Number 6, breathe underwater. Now, I know there has been invention of submarine, all these type of aqua inventions that are around. So people want to go deep sea diving, snorkeling, all these kind of things. They have the ability to do so, scuba diving, whatever, diving gears. But human beings want the ability to naturally in their physical form, swim like a fish, breathe underwater for a lengthy time, not just up to a minute for those who can hold their breath for very long. We want the ability to go swimming. We want the ability to soar. We want the ability to do all that good stuff like a fish, because they said you give man dominion over what? Over lower class animal, over the fowls of the air and the fish of the sea. So if we have dominion over them, we want the ability to do the things that they do. And one of the things we want to be able to do is to swim and hold our breath for very long underwater. Okay, which leads to number 7. Number 7, I think the mistake God made is making everyone look different. Yeah. Making everyone look different is a great mistake, because we've seen the result of it. Racism, classism, all that inglorious stuff that has come simply through visual, simply through seeing. You can't be racist if you're blind. You can't be racist if everyone looks the same. You understand? So I think God made a mistake in making everyone look different. I'm sorry. Because with everyone look different, people put politics into it, people put religion to it. I'm sorry first. And then they put politics to it. And then the system of racism began where people start exercising it through politics, through religion, through sports, through entertainment, and last but not least, through the media. So we think one of the mistakes that God made is making everyone look different. And because of such, we have a lot of hate, we have a lot of disdain for each other, we have a lot of dismissal for each other. And it's mainly based on physical appearance. Or you could have just invented all of us or made all of us blind. That way you can't tell. So that's coming in at number 7. Number 8. Number 8. The 8th mistake that we believe God made is mankind not being able to speak our language. We want to be multilingual to the point where we can speak all languages known to man, including dead languages, such as Sumerian, such as reading and understanding cuneiform, and all that good stuff. The reason being, we all know from ancient times and through biblical texts, they spoke on the invention of multiple languages through the Tower of Babel after the flood, and they were building a tower that could withstand another flood. And because of such, men started speaking different languages. They created a mass confusion. And because of that, then languages invented according to biblical scriptures. But now we know, traveling to 2023 in this day and age, we know that there are persons who are multilingual that can speak even 20 languages based on invention of technology that comes in and applying it to their daily life. People are able to speak that language. But the average human being, all of us would love the ability to naturally speak all languages known to man. So let's say I go to Iran and a person can speak. What's the language in Iran? I think it's Creole or Tamil. I don't remember. I don't want to quote. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. I don't remember. We want to be able to speak it. That's what we're basically saying. We want to be able to speak Amharic. We want to be able to speak Mandarin or Cantonese. We want the ability to speak Russian. People want to speak Patois. People want to speak Creole. People want to be able to speak all languages known to man. And I think it's only fair and natural, God, that you put the ability in us when inventing or making us in the future so that we be able to be multilingual, that we can speak all languages known to man. Coming in at number 9. Number 9. Mistake that God made is making us age. Yes, like it or not, we're all ageist. We want to dismiss people based on their ability to do stuff, and we think the age is a factor when it comes to it. There are people out there who are at the age 80, they are getting a PhD, they're graduating from high school, all that good stuff, and they believe in their goals regardless of their age. They personally believe that their age was no limitation towards them achieving and pursuing their goals. People want to go bungee jumping, people want to go skydiving, people want to travel all over the world at whatever age. People want to remarry at whatever age. And I think it's only fair and natural for you, God, to stop aging on people so that we can live our lives and we can do the things that we want to do that's naturally known to us, that you have put in us to make us advance also, without have to apply mechanical things to our life or inventing it and advancing it for us to be able to do what we want to do. I think age stopping us from aging, stopping us from aging or reducing us from aging will be a great way to go forward. So let's say I want to go bungee jumping later on in the next 25 years. I should be able to, based on my physical ability. I should be able to go bungee jumping. Not because I'm 85 years old or because I'm 60 and I have to worry about hypertension, I have to worry about my diabetes, I have to worry about all these kind of things, getting a stroke, all this fright that comes into me, and my age, breaking a limb and all those kind of things. I want to be able to do that just the same, regardless. So I think, God, the mistake that you make is making us age. Which leads to my last and not least, number 10. Number 10. Okay? Number 10 on the list, which is my favorite, is raising the dead, or us having the ability to decide when we check out. When we check out, that should be on us. God, I think by now you know that we all don't want to die. We accept it. A lot of us live in the coping mechanism and a comfort knowing that, okay, we are going to go that time, we are going to go, we're sick, we're ailing, we're aging, and we have to go, our loved ones have to go, they have to depart. Many of us are not prepared for it. There's also unforeseen occurrences which the Bible speak of, which are accidents, sudden death, all these kind of things. and people just simply aren't prepared for that type of pain and suffering. And human beings have suffered long enough, knowing that they lose a child, they lose a parent, they lose a sibling, they lose a close friend, they lose their partner, their husband or their wife. And so because of that, God, we're asking you kindly if you could stop us from dying or give us the ability to return from the dead and come back to this world in one accord and in peace, and having our body faculties intact and everything is okay for us. So I think that's mistake that you make, God, is making us die, leaving this earth permanently, leaving this time and space permanently. God, we're putting you to task. You're on the books, God, and you have to do there. These are the adjustment. Persons have come forward and have agreed with me, and so we humbly come to you and we're asking you if you could stop these. We want to go 3 centuries. We want to see 5 centuries ahead of us, what it's going to look like and what it is. We want that ability, and we're asking you, only you have that ability to let us go full throttle 3 centuries ahead. Next 300 years, we're doing 500 years on the earth. And we look the same, if not younger, fitter, firmer, have the ability to do what we want to do and, just live in peace and harmony. That's all we ask. So, God, many persons have agreed with me, and this is my plea to you. That's my top 10 mistakes that God made. And people, it's for humor. If you want to add anything to the list, be sure to do so, or feel free to do so in the comment section. I would love to hear your opinion on it, and I would love to see what you have to say that you would love God to do, or it's a mistake that God have made in mankind. And I'm just, here for it all. Like I said, this video is just for people who are like myself. I have a very weird sense of humor. Like, you can tell me something so funny and I get it, but I just don't laugh. I don't have any funny bone in my body either. You can't really tickle me. God, this is what you have done, God. I can't laugh like that. Like, I can laugh at myself. I think that's a good thing. I have the ability to laugh at myself, but I want to, I just did this video for people who are like me. They hardly laugh, and so we're just putting it out there for you to see and to understand that we have our plights, and we would like you to see and understand, and bear with us, God. So that's the top 10 mistakes that you made, and I think you need to correct, because, God, you're not perfect. They say you are, but I don't believe that you are. I believe that some things that reach people should have reached someone else, and that's just where it is. And I'm putting it to you, God, to make the corrections for mankind, to move forward in our natural ability and advancement, to do the things that other animals can do in their great form, and just allow us to live on this earth until we decide when we want to go. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.